In the Stating the Obvious department, Washington Post tried to fact-check Trump on who runs dangerous cities and failed miserably. Again, we've seen this stat where the 25 the most top cities, and it depends how your metric goes, by 100,000 per 100,000 people or just the top 25 cities. Well, 2 of the cities were run by independents, but they're Democrats, let's be honestly. And 1 city, Jacksonville, run by a Republican. There you go. Earlier this week, Democrats blocked the Republican-written police reform bill, the Justice Act. President Trump responded to the disgrace by pointing out the Democrats have a crappy record when it comes to crime. You hear about certain places like Chicago, and you hear about what's going on in Detroit and other cities. All Democrat run. Every one of them is a Democrat run, Trump said. The 20 most dangerous are Democratic run. Which technically they are, but he probably should have 17 out of 20. But they still would have challenged him, obviously. Democrats now risk losing the high ground on police reform, and the media has chosen to step in and play defense for them, as per usual. Which is exactly what Phillip Bump of the Washington Post did. Of course he did, because he's an idiot. According to Bump, President Trump's claim is dead wrong. Trump keeps claiming that the most dangerous cities in America are all run by Democrats. They aren't. Read the headline of this fact check. And you can see it here. With the handle like this, headline, certainly Mr. Bump was going to provide us with statistics or a chart that showed that the most violent cities in America are somewhat more evenly controlled by Democrats and Republicans. If you thought that, you'd be wrong. In fact, despite the fact check's headlines, here's what Bump says. The most recent data to the effect is from the FBI's Uniform Crime Report covering the first half of 2019. The cities with the most violent crimes are many of the most populous cities in the United States. True. Those with the highest rates of violent crime are from a range of different states. Not necessarily. Most of the current mayors of these cities are Democrats. Most of the current mayors of these cities are Democrats. 2 of the mayors of the cities that are reported violent crimes overall are independents, which are Democrats. And 1, the mayor of Jacksonville, is a Florida Republican. Among the 20 cities with the most violent crimes per capita, 1 isn't Democrat, the independent mayor of Springfield, Missouri. And here's the see down here, San Antonio, Las Vegas, independent, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Then Jacksonville. So this is the overall crime statistics, and here's by per 100,000. Let's see if I can open that up. Okay. All right. So if it's by per 10,000 residents, according to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, January to June, do you see any red mayors there? No? That's what I thought. You see any red mayors? Yep. Jacksonville, Florida. Any other, independents, but they're Democrats. Huh. Interesting. According to Phillip Bump of Washington Post, these charts prove that real Donald Trump is wrong to say the most violent cities in America are run by Democrats. Hashtag a facepalm. Arr. This, according to Bump, totally debunks Trump's claim and claims Trump would no doubt shrug at any detail, crying as fake news, the revelation that his assertion was only slightly wrong. He's not wrong. So by this standard, because 17 out of the 20 of the most violent cities are run by Democrats, or 19 out of 20 of the most violent cities per capita are run by Democrats, Trump's often repeated claim that the most dangerous cities in the country are run by Democrats is false. And we're supposed to believe that the Washington Post isn't biased. Of course they are. How does someone like Phillip Bump still have a job after basically trying to argue that the 2 + 2 = 5? Well, Phillip Bump is a foul-mouthed, disgusting, filthy, god-awful, progressive liberal Democrat. He's a fellow traveler. Of course he's not going to lose his job. Bump then bloviates about why it doesn't matter that an overwhelming majority of these violent cities are run by Democrats. In fairness, it actually doesn't matter that 4 of the 32 cities listed above have non-Democratic mayors. Because it doesn't really matter that the other mayors are Democrats. Wait, what? Of course it doesn't. He just spent several paragraphs claiming to disprove that to the very point, and yet he claims it doesn't matter. Why? Because it's only a coincidence that these urban areas are typically run by Democrats and have been for years. Some for decades, and a couple for 5 decades or more. Is it really that hard for the media to admit when Trump is right? How many bogus fact checks does it take for so-called journalists to be embarrassed? Well, I can answer that question essentially like this. They don't care. They know that their readership, technically, for the most part, is mostly Democrat, liberal, progressive, douchebag, socialist a-holes. Every once in a while, a person like myself, who's a libertarian, small L if you will, not the big L, will go to those sites and talk about them and react to them and go, yeah, douchebag, liberal, socialist Democrats, got it. That's the people who you read. Those are the people who write them. And they're biased to the hilt. So again, is Trump wrong? No, he's completely right. Now, should he be said, well, 17 out of 20 are run by Democrats. And then 2 that are mostly independent are essentially Democrats. Only 1, by the FBI uniform crime statistics, a Republican from Jacksonville. Again, this is all par for the course for the Washington Post, leftist media, socialist, progressives, the BLM, Antifa, who are all fellow travelers. And Phillip Bump is, in fact, a fellow traveler of the socialist, communist left wing. He is left of Pol Pot, Stalin, and Lenin. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy my content. Thank you.